Hello, I'm Dr. Lisa Cooper, and I want to thank you for inviting me to speak to your organization. The topic for today is fighting fat as we age. And just a little bit about me. I'm a chiropractor, a life coach, and a certified clinical nutritionist. So let's get started. Food is the most powerful drug you will ever encounter. Due to its complicated effect on our biochemistry, we can no longer think of food in terms of calories and weight loss in terms of caloric restriction. Weight loss, and optimal health for that matter, are dependent on complex hormonal responses that are generated every time you open your mouth to eat. Today we'll be discussing the macronutrients, which very simply are proteins, carbohydrates, and fat. Well, that may seem basic to you. After all, you've been hearing about proteins, carbohydrates, and fat for decades. But what you may not know is every time you eat these macronutrients, you are generating those complex hormonal responses that will determine your weight and affect your health. Understanding and learning how to control these hormonal responses is a powerful and exciting part of nutrition, since it unlocks, once and for all, the mystery of losing weight and keeping it off forever. The story begins with carbohydrates. Unfortunately, many people are not sure which foods are carbohydrate foods. Most people will say breads, sweets, and pasta, and they would be right. But fruits and vegetables are also carbohydrates. So, are carbohydrates good for us? Are they bad for us? And how much carbohydrate do we actually need? Well, we all need to have some carbohydrates in our diet in order to refuel our brains. You see, our brains utilize glucose, a form of sugar derived from carbohydrate, as its primary energy source. Now, how your body responds to the carbohydrates that you eat, well, that's another matter, and that depends on your genetic constitution. For example, 25% of the population are very sensitive to carbohydrates. These are the people that get fat just looking at carbs, let alone eating them. Another 25% of the population have no problem with carbohydrates whatsoever. These are the people that can eat and eat and eat carbohydrates and not gain an ounce. We all know people like that, and we tend not to like them very much. Actually, I'm married to one of those. The remaining 50% of us are not overly sensitive to carbohydrate, but we have to be careful because we will gain weight if we overeat them. In essence, 75% of us have to be extremely careful about carbohydrate consumption. So just to let you know, you're in good company. Now, what actually does happen when we overeat carbohydrates? Well, when we eat a high carbohydrate snack or meal, it causes our blood sugar levels to go up. And when the blood sugar levels go up, the body signals the pancreas to release insulin. That's the hormone responsible for driving those high blood sugar levels back down. You see, just like your body regulates its core temperature and it regulates the pH of the blood, well, your body works diligently to regulate your blood sugar levels too. And that's fine. That's good. Except that too much insulin is not good. Too much insulin causes a fat storage response. Let me repeat that again. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. So when we are eating high carbohydrates and snacks, and we are storing fat, that isn't even the end of the story. Unfortunately, insulin has an effect on your fat cells, telling them to store and lock the fat up, virtually making it impossible for you to draw upon your fat cells and break fat down for energy. And that is a problem. In essence, carbohydrates, eaten in extreme, not only make you fat, but they will keep you fat.